Round of applause to Sony for breaking yet another massive world record with the release of Madam Web, which is the worst box office opening ever for the Sony Spider-Man movie franchise, and the hilarious reactions that are coming from Hollywood elites and celebrities over the fact that this was a total flop in the box office has been absolutely amazing, to the point where now they're just nuking everything. Like, Sony's like, we're done, we're canceling it all, okay? So we're gonna be getting into all of this today and see what is going on here. Madam Web made less in 6 days than Morbius made in 3. So Madam Web hit theaters on Valentine's Day, and the movie is breaking some unfortunate records for Sony. Not only does it have the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score of any Spider-Man movie made by Sony, but it also has the worst opening weekend of the films. And because of the Valentine's weekend and all of that type of stuff, it had that extended weekend, but it wasn't enough to save this film. As you can see here, it sits at 13% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, 55% rotten from audiences. So pretty much everyone has completely panned and trashed this film, except for, you know, the mindless consumer sheeps out there. Sony's latest estimates for Madam Web show the film taking in $26 million for the 6 days, up from Sunday's estimate of $25 million, including a 4-day weekend gross of $18 million. Either way, it is the worst start for a Sony film featuring Spider-Man related characters, and I'm sure you all know this already, but the second weekend box office is going to be absolutely terrible for this film. Then you see things like this, and it's like, oh, well, now I understand why it was such a bad movie.
I have always really loved Marvel movies.
I mean, what percent of Marvel movies have you seen?
4%.
4%.
So much for her being a fan, I guess. So now we have some news coming from Sony, which is who's not happy about everything that is going on. So Sony is in dire straits following the release of Madam Web. The company bet big on the star-studded superhero feature starring Dakota Johnson, introducing not only Cassandra Webb, but 3 future Spider-Women for potential sequels and spin-offs. Instead of a franchise, however, they received one of the biggest superhero movie bombs ever released. A $52 million opening weekend at the global box office after releasing on Valentine's Day with ghastly reviews to boot. Now industry insiders say it likely killed whatever plans for a series Sony may have had for the clairvoyant superhero, according to the Hollywood Reporter. So they are just going to completely axe this entire thing because of how much of a disaster this film was. We're not going to see another Madam Web movie for another decade plus. One veteran told the Hollywood Reporter about the film, "It failed. Sony tried to make a movie that was a different type of superhero movie, and a movie that nobody wanted or asked for. This could have been an interesting film. Like, you have someone who has spider powers, but it's more of a mental type of thing with her powers and everything else, and I think that as a concept could be kind of cool. But unfortunately, Sony just did not know how to handle this, and they completely fumbled in the biggest way possible. And the most hilarious thing about this is that the very audience that they were trying to target with this film, with women, did not come out to support this film. It was dads and 12-year-old boys who loved Madam Web as the box office bombed, and you are just going to continue to see all these flops happening when you do not understand who your target audience really is, which are these demographics. And when you do not target to these demographics, you're going to continue to see flop after flop, which is exactly what happened. So with that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.